If you would have told any tennis fan in January 2022 that Nick Kyrgios would be Novak Djokovic's opponent in the Wimbledon Finals, they probably would have called you crazy. Nick Kyrgios is one of the most unique players the ATP Tour has ever seen. Ever since he rose to tennis stardom when he became the #1 ranked junior player, he has been known as one of the most gifted, but one of the most temperamental players. He had beaten the big three multiple times, and even has a winning record on Novak Djokovic. At the same time, Nick owns the record for largest fine on ATP record, when he was charged over $100,000 for unsportsmanlike conduct towards the referee and for smashing 2 rackets after asking for a bathroom break. His personality has brought in many fans over the years, as the Australian has previously stated his goal is to introduce new fans to the sport. John Newcombe, an Australian tennis icon, said, "Nick is an exceptional talent and he doesn't beat to the same drum as everyone else. He's a real individual." Kyrgios has had a decent amount of success at ATP 250s and 500s, winning a total of 6 ATP titles to date, the most recent being Washington DC in 2019. Kyrgios even made it to an ATP Masters 1000 finals, but was beaten by Grigor Dimitrov in straight sets. Success in majors, however, had so far eluded the Australian, as his best singles finishes ever came in the quarterfinals of Wimbledon 2014 and Australian Open 2015, and hasn't made it past the round of 16 since. Nick was often regarded as a player who had all the talent in the world, but couldn't make the distance because of his explosive nature and poor mental game. At the start of 2022, Nick Kyrgios was matched into second-seeded Daniil Medvedev in the second round of the Australian Open and lost in 4 sets, marking another early exit from a Grand Slam for him. However, in doubles, he and fellow Australian Thanasi Kokkinakis made an incredible run to the Aussie Open doubles finals, beating the top-seeded, third-seeded, and 6th-seeded doubles teams along the way, and managed to win the trophy in straight sets over Matthew Ebden and Max Purcell, becoming the first ever wildcard players to win the Aussie Open men's doubles title in the Open era. Kyrgios' next singles tournaments were Indian Wells and Miami, both of which saw him beat a top 10 ranked player and finished in the quarterfinals and round of 16 respectively. Kyrgios would come back at the start of the grass season, when he had 2 impressive semi-final finishes in both Stuttgart and Halle, giving him and his fans high hopes for his Wimbledon campaign. However, he would need a bit of luck with the draws first. Long before Wimbledon began, the championships decided to enact a ban on all Russian and Belarusian players due to the situation in Ukraine. This meant several top-ranked players, including Medvedev, Rublev, Khachanov, and Karatsev, would not be able to participate this year in Wimbledon. Second-ranked Alexander Zverev also wouldn't be able to play due to injuries, and last year's Wimbledon finalist Matteo Berrettini had to withdraw due to testing positive for COVID. Nick Kyrgios was placed in 4-seeded Stefanos Tsitsipas' draw, which was lucky for the Australian as he had a 3-1 record against the Greek prior to the tournament, and had beaten him about a week ago in Halle. It was clear that Kyrgios could be a huge threat to make a deep run in the tournament, especially since he had been one of the best players on grass this season. Nick started off against Paul Jubb from Great Britain, narrowly managing to beat him in a 5-set match. In the second round, Kyrgios annihilated Filip Krajinovic, winning 6-2, 6-3, 6-1. The Australian hit 6 times as many aces as his opponent did, and did not give Krajinovic a single break chance throughout the whole match. Kyrgios would face Stefanos Tsitsipas in the third round, with Nick being the favorite to win despite being ranked almost 40 spots below his opponent. And, after dropping the first set, Nick managed to beat out the Greek in a very heated 4-set match that saw both players receive code violations. In the round of 16, Nick played against young American Brandon Nakashima and barely scraped by in a 5-set win in which he tanked the last game of the 4th set. In the quarters, Kyrgios was matched against Christian Garin, who had just played a 5-set match where he came back down 2-0. The Australian was not phased, however, and played excellently, winning in straight sets to reach his first ever Grand Slam semifinals. Nick said after the match, "Honestly, I thought my ship had sailed. Obviously, I didn't go about things great earlier in my career and may have wasted that little window. Just really proud of the way I've come back out here and with my team and just to be able to put on the performance." Nick Kyrgios would play the winner of the Nadal-Fritz match, which had gone into a 5th set. Nadal was playing through an abdominal tear and was visibly in pain throughout the match. The Spaniard would eventually pull through and win the 5th set, but in a press conference would announce that he wouldn't be able to play in the semis, meaning Kyrgios would receive a free trip to the finals, becoming the first ever player to receive a walkover into a Grand Slam finals. As expected, Novak Djokovic once again made it to the finals, beating Cameron Norrie in 4 sets. And so, on July 10th, Novak Djokovic and Nick Kyrgios stepped out onto the center court to play out the Wimbledon Finals. Nick started off well, winning the first set 6-4. However, Djokovic woke up and started playing much better in the second and third sets, winning them 6-3, 6-4. The fourth set saw both players hold all service games, but Novak managed to edge out Kyrgios in the tiebreaker 7-3, securing him his 7th Wimbledon title. In his post-match interview, Nick still held his head high and was clearly proud of himself and the way he had played across the whole tournament. After ending his speech by saying he didn't know if he would get back to this stage, Novak Djokovic said, "Nick, you'll be back, not just at Wimbledon, but at the finals." Throughout the tournament, Nick put all the questions about him and his game to rest, very clearly behaving better throughout the final rounds and proving why he deserves to be seen as a top competitor. He averaged over 25 aces per match and won at least 70% of all first serve points in every match he played, as well as having a 6-1 overall ace to double fault ratio. He also proved himself in the finals, hitting several impressive winners throughout the match. Only one question remains. Can Nick Kyrgios eventually win a Grand Slam? In my opinion, he has a good chance in the upcoming US Open. Obviously, he would have to deal with the likes of Daniil Medvedev, Carlos Alcaraz, Yannick Sinner, and others, but he definitely has a chance if he manages to stay disciplined and plays up to his maximum ability for 14 days. Nick has admitted that if he had won Wimbledon, he really would have struggled with motivating himself. He stated that the experience taught him that mental strength is key in making a deep run in a Grand Slam, saying you can lose a Grand Slam in a day, but you can't win one. He seems to be taking professional tennis much more seriously now, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him make another finals appearance, maybe even sooner than we might think. Thank you for watching, like and subscribe, and I'll see you later.
So lazy, do something.
15, finish.
So lazy you are. Play FIFA till 3 AM, what do you expect?